To thank you both for being with us here today. I am with Brian German, the project superintendent for McCarthy for the Loma Linda Hospital expansion project, as well as Dallas Smith, the project manager for McCarthy. And just here to speak to you about the use specifically of the Five Star Hybrid Grout within the Loma Linda Hospital expansion. And I'm wondering, Brian, we'll start with you. If you can just explain to us some of the unique property requirements for grouting on this expansion project that you were challenged with.
Well, like I said before, I mean, it's the plate is very large. It's roughly 5'7" across and roughly 29 square feet in area, and we had a 13,000 psi requirement. And there's not that many products on the market that's going to hit that, and not all of them. And and of course everybody knows the higher you go on psi, the less flowability you're going to get. And we went through a couple of other products. Once we seen the very first day when I seen the 5-star mixed, I knew that, we all did, that we were onto something here that this stuff's going to work for us.
So I know that to have products accepted onto this project, there were some vigorous mock-ups and testings, and I know that you worked in conjunction with OSHPD on some of those mock-ups. Could you explain some of the sequence of events of some of the mock-up and testing to gain approval for the products?
Yeah, we had the structural steel company send out 2 plates that would be identical to the isolator application that we were doing, and we used those in mock-ups to grout in between, and we had to hit the 95% with no bubbles larger than 1 square inch, is what the specs and the contract drawings were calling on this job, which made it even more difficult. And of course OSHPD, if you know anything about OSHPD, it's see the picture, build the picture, and if you're not hitting it, then keep trying. So we actually did mock-ups, 3 months?
4 months.
4 months, over and over and over, and the 5-star finally came through for us.
Yeah, I know that we did some of those mock-ups back at our corporate office, back in R&D.
You sent us videos of those.
Yeah,
Those actually helped too.
Yeah.
And that actually led to us procuring a different pump to place the product with. We had a different pump, pneumatic powered originally, and we realized that was a source of some of the problems we had. So kind of using the same application as you guys did back in the yard or your lab really helped us out for our production.
That's something that we're very proud of, and we believe strongly in is field support. But from your local contact here in California to our technical services group, I know that you worked with a handful of people at 5-star and found that to be helpful to you in finishing up and finding a solution.
Oh, absolutely. But no, as far as the field support, it was phenomenal. In fact, Dallas can ask you after the very first day that you guys came out here, and we tried the first mock-up with our pneumatic pump before we went on to the better pump. At the end of the day, when you guys left, I was talking to Dallas, and I could tell, I just had a good feeling that day that it was not just the product, it was the fact that 5-star was here to help us. They weren't here just to dump the product on and give me $400,000, I'm out of here. They were really, you guys were really genuine as far as wanting to help us with a solution, and you stayed with us until we had a solution. So Dan put in a lot of hours out here, so that was definitely greatly appreciated.
Yeah, Dan's support has been second to none, and then Lash and Chris as well. It was nice having the ability to contact both of them.
Yeah, so in the end here, what is the total number of bags that are going to be installed into this project?
Yeah, right now we have about 4,200 bags in place, and the project, after we grout the pins and the top isolator, it's going to work out to about 8,500 bags of grout.
Scale.
That's the most grout I've ever seen on a project in 40 years.
Oh yeah. The pedestals are one of the installations that we did, as well as on those seismic isolators. So I was wondering, just because of their uniqueness, if you could go into a little bit of detail about their function and design here.
Sure. So typically on base isolated projects, you end up with a concrete pier that's attached to grade beams or a mat foundation. The isolator gets set on top of that and then grouted into place. Due to the strength requirements on this project, it's actually sitting on a steel pedestal that's concrete filled So having your grout span two separate materials is fairly unique, and from what I understand, it's never been done before. So it's a steel pedestal with concrete in the center. The joint is about 2 to 2 3/4 inches thick, and like Brian was saying earlier, it really has to travel a long distance across it. But this project is not only base isolated, so the building moves laterally in a seismic event, but it also has the ability for the foundation to move up and down underneath the steel.
It's unreal.
So that is fairly unique in itself. And that's, partly of the requirements, the strength requirements that we're getting is having 10,000 PSI underneath the isolator and needing 13,000 PSI above the isolator without being able to use the option of epoxy, just due to the fire rating in the basement level. So that application and design is fairly unique. What I told him is in this instance, you were the third call, or kind of the last call, the last option. And moving forward, I know Brian's going to retire, but for me, on the next project, you guys would be my first call.